Hi, I'm Owen Altman. I work for Northern Crops Institute. I'm a processing technician here. We're going to today show you our KOMET cold press using soybeans to extract oil or press oil out of them. This unit was of course made by Monsford's over in Germany. It's a double head press, or twin screw I should say. I have started the preheaters, that's what these are on here, and warming up the heads on it so we get better extraction. Today we'll be using whole soybeans. We could also crack and dehull soybeans, but for our test purposes we're just going to run straight whole beans through this unit. We start out with different nozzles. You start with the large nozzles. In both cases I've got the large nozzles are 15 millimeter. They go anywhere all the way down to about 6 millimeter. The smaller you go, the more oil extraction you get. The heat just mainly is used for warm up, and after that it can be usually turned off, but you get a little bit more extraction with the heaters on. Oil will be coming out of these porous heads up here, and the cake will be coming out the nozzles, which is this stuff you see in this pan. We will turn our unit on, so you're going to have to bear with a little bit of noise on here. You have to kind of pre-start it by dribbling in slowly to get the nozzle to start shooting cake, but in this case I'm just going to start dropping little amounts in as we go along here. Like I said, once we get it to start flowing, we'll start dropping down sizes until we start seeing the cake coming out to be a lighter color, and you'll also see it getting more flaky. Once you get it to do its initial start, you can just pour her full and she will run continuously as long as you keep the hopper full. And I'll show you those nozzles while the machine is trying to press the beans out the end. This nozzle, if you can see it, is this one here is a 12. This is about a number 6. Like I said, I have a 15, which is a little bit larger than that nozzle inside of there. See, it's starting to shoot a little bit of cake out the end there. So once she takes off, it's just a matter of filling her up. We already have oil dripping out here in our catch pan. I will take and switch nozzles. We'll go down a couple sizes. You'll notice how it's dripping now for oil. We'll see if we can get a little more oil out of it, turn this a little whiter. I'm going to shut it off for a little bit and remove this, change it out for a smaller size. This is the number 10 nozzle I switched down to. Usually there's no problem of going down to a smaller nozzles and it restarting. It's usually, once you got it flowing, it's usually good to go. Be able to see as it runs, it might lighten up a little more too. You can see it's starting to get a little bit flaky. The drier oil content that it gets, the more flaky. If this gets down to, usually down to the lowest nozzle, normally you'll see this fairly lighter color, and it'll really get flaky. It's kind of slow at 1,000 RPMs and with this small screw. But in this case, I will speed it up a little bit just to see if we can get a little more. There's an adjustment over on this wheel here that'll change the speed. Increasing the speed, of course, get more flow, more product through the unit, but you also lose your oil extraction as you go up in speed. You're going to lower that some. If you look at the original first stuff, you can tell the different oil contents, and it is getting, this is pretty smooth and stuff. This has got a lot more cracks, a lot more flaky, less oil in it. It looks like this is really starting to dry out pretty well. And you can tell how I went up to 2,000. It's still extracting well, and it's moving a lot more product, probably twice the product that we were running through at 1,000. Our oil flow should be dripping a little better than it was on the earlier method. You could try one more nozzle down. We'll take it down to number 8 to see how we turn out here. Now at this speed I am seeing now again, once I put in this new nozzle, I am seeing kind of oil. You can see the little darker yellow streaks in here, and it's not as flaky as we were on one of the earlier nozzles there. But this will settle down as it runs just a little bit, and this nozzle gets up to full temperature. Right now it's a little cool. You usually preheat this on about 100 to 80 to 100 setting on the unit, which is usually in the range of about 35 C coming out of here when their nozzles first heated up, and you can lower that if you want a little bit by turning off the heaters, but you need the heaters to get them started usually. You can see the difference in size all the way from that 15 that I originally had in there. So we went to a 10, now I'm down to an 8.